So, you've heard the rave reviews of the second Ori game and are wondering, should I go back to play the first game, Ori and the Blind Forest, or just leap headfirst into Will-O'-the-Wisps? Hi, I'm Dan with The Game Adventure, and that's exactly the question that we're going to try and answer. Let's start by looking at some reasons you might want to play the first game first. Number 1, many of the platforming skills introduced in the Blind Forest carry over really well to the second game. I immediately felt right at home moving around in the second game because of my experience with the first. In my opinion, the tutorials using the moves in the first game were done better, and you were forced to really use them to the max to get through the game. Number 2, the first game is simpler. While the ability to purchase and equip various skills and abilities in the second game via the shard system was interesting, it did add a level of complexity that didn't exist in the first game, and that wasn't a bad thing. You didn't have to think about what abilities to equip and upgrade, you just had to make the most out of what you had. The map is smaller and it teaches you the various methods that collectibles were hidden, like hidden openings and smashable walls. I remember thinking often in Will-O'-the-Wisps that I never would have found most of the things on my own if not for my experience in the first game. Number 3, the sequel continues the story from the first and includes some major spoilers about who lives and dies from the first game. The storytelling in Ori is some of the best I've ever experienced in a game, particularly when it comes to delivering emotional punches with heartfelt heroes and villains. Frankly, I wouldn't want to miss out on the story of the first game by seeing spoilers in the second game. And both games work together to bring things to an epic conclusion at the end of the second. So, if you're a sucker for a good story, don't skip the first game. That's not to say that there aren't reasons to play them out of order, but before we get to that, would you consider liking this video if it's helpful to you? It helps me to decide what to make next, and if you like content like this, give my channel a follow as well. So the one reason I can think of not to play these games in order is that the first game is actually harder. The addition of the various abilities and choosing to equip different ones for different playstyles make the second game much more manageable. I think I only died a handful of times in the escape sequences and boss fights, unlike in the first game where I died over and over and over. I would hate for you to miss out on Will-O'-the-Wisps because the first game was too challenging. So if you are newer to platformers or just more of a casual gamer, you might find the second game more manageable, particularly on the easy setting. Overall, I would definitely recommend playing Ori and the Blind Forest first. It's an amazing game in its own right, and it makes the second game even better in terms of story and movement, and just overall improvements they made to the second game. However, if you just want the story, including all of the cutscenes, you can watch this video I put together after I finished it. Bottom line, don't miss out on these amazing games, and follow The Game Adventure for more game guides, reviews, and helpful content.